Weird Realities explores the paranormal, preternatural, and supernatural worlds that surround us. Here we delve into those topics that challenge us to think outside the limitations of realism, where we test the boundaries of imagination and are forced to think outside the confines and restrictions of what is normal. We are the creators, the writers, the artists, and the insane. Welcome to our Weird Realities.
Hey there, my name is Hadley Thorne, and I'm the head cat herder here at Weird Realities. For this episode, in collaboration with the wonderful folks over at Horror Writers Inc. Facebook community, we are hosting a discussion panel on Netflix's 11-episode Sandman series. Joining me tonight is my partner in crime, best-selling authors Rich Vistucci and Joseph Hansen, and part of the Horror Writers Inc. fabulous list of featured authors, Sylvester Barzy, Mike Evans, and Stephen Landry. If you would, please just take a minute and introduce yourself, then we'll get started, guys.
Alphabetical?
I'll
First
go.
come, first served.
Clockwise.
I'm Joe Hansen. I am the right under the name of Joseph Hansen. I'm the author of the I forget the name of my own series. I'm a Five Roads to Texas series, the No Man's Land series, which is published under Devil Dog Press. I have several standalones. And,
Zombie Rush. Zombie Rush.
Zombie Rush is one of them, and that is no longer a series. That is gone. That's part of the No Man's Land series now. And yeah, I'm also the host of The Lowballing with Joe Hansen and Alan Gamboa, where we interview authors and about writing. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All right. My name is Mike Evans. I live just below Joe in Iowa with my wife, 2 kids, 2 dogs. You probably, if you have no clue who I am, I've written 44 books that have been published since 2014. If you do know who I am, you probably have read either The Orphans or Zombies on the Block or The Uninvited, or one of the other, numerous ones. So thanks for having me.
All right. So I am Sylvester Barzy. I am the author of the Planet Dead series. That's pretty much all I got. I was having technical difficulties trying to get on live, so I got distracted. Go on, Rich.
My name's Rich Vistucci. I've been writing since 2015, I guess, is when I was published. I got 2 series, the Run series and the Theory series. And I don't know, maybe 20, 25 anthologies out there, or stories in anthologies. I live in southeastern Massachusetts. I also have 2 kids, 2 dogs. I have 3 kids, 2 dogs. Jeez, I forgot a kid. I'm in trouble. And that's me. Steven?
I'm Stephen Landry. I write lit RPG, fantasy, and survival horror. I'm probably best known for Stardivers series, or one of the series that I've co-authored, Temple of the Storm or Vampire Sorcerer. I've written about 11 books total and been in a dozen anthologies. I am also a huge Sandman fan.
Well, we're going to have a good time discussing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but the first thing I have to say is the imagery was incredible. I was astounded at the ability they were able to take some of the amazing artwork that Gaiman's had produced in the Sandman series over the years and really recreate that and make it work on film.
Yeah, they really brought everything to life. It was so amazing. The number one thing that I loved the most was probably hell. I really liked the depiction of hell and just the souls in the mountain by the gates.
And the way they portrayed the demons too, it was amazing.
Yeah,
I
haven't seen a depiction of hell that good since the first Constantine movie.
I was just gonna say that. I'm gonna say the same thing. Constantine nailed it. Shockingly enough, we're like this with the Sandman and Constantine. So.
I did hear that they're in works for doing a Constantine series as well.
Oh,
so
I wonder if they'll give it to
Gaiman.
What Keanu? Well, I was gonna say Keanu because he's
No.
been fighting to get like a part 2.
With
I hope
the
so.
Warner Brother Discovery merger, I'm not sure if that's still happening.
Uh,
There was a Justice League Dark TV series that was in the
Yes.
works
mhm.
that was going to feature Constantine heavily, but
I feel with
Yeah.
especially after seeing like Sandman and seeing how much they tried to separate it from DC's universe by changing Constantine's sex and then changing Lucifer's sex and everything. I felt like they're trying to like kind of just separate it from everything else and create their own little universe. And I kind of dig that because you don't want to be kind of like held down by like Lucifer or held down by Constantine, but yeah, it would have been cool to see some of those people back.
I
Yeah.
definitely welcome any spin-off from the Sandman universe,
Hey.
especially
I-
Joanna Constantine.
I was really
He was
hoping
a-
for.
Oh, sorry, Rich, go.
I was really hoping for Peter Stormare as Lucifer. I
Yeah.
think that just would have been great after the
Yeah.
Constantine movie. Go ahead, Hadley. Hi, Linda.
I was just going to say that Joanna Constantine was definitely a favorite for me in the series.
Oh,
I
she's
wanted to see
awesome.
more of her. And Lucifer, Gwendolyn Christie, man, she nailed it. She was phenomenal. And I was kind of wondering how I was going to feel about Lucifer being played by a woman, but I think that it really, really worked in this scenario.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved seeing Joanna Constantine, and I love the little like name drops they did when they were naming her exes, and it was like Oliver, it was Batwoman, and it was like Black Canary, Sarah, and I was just like, okay. So I
Well,
thought
and
that
I'll
was
say this: the scene with the exorcism is probably my favorite scene from the whole show. So I loved it. I felt like it was really, really cool. It was well done. Obviously, I'm a fan. Joe, I know you said that we were probably going to hate you, so you want to go ahead and throw in your 10 cents worth?
It's not even worth 10 cents. You know, I love the imagery. I thought the set design was beautiful. You know, I like the steampunk feel, even though it wasn't real steampunk, but it had that era to it, and I like that. The only real struggle I saw in the show was for me to stay awake.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
Oh my God, how boring does it have to be? The antagonist had nothing threatening about him. You know, not his mannerisms, not his physique. There was nothing about him that was believable. There were some scenes in there that were done really well, but I think casting was way off, especially around the main antagonist. And my God, I've never had. I mean, the only thing that puts me to sleep faster than that is a James Bond film. You know,
I love James Bond. Man.
Oh no, James Bond puts me
I
right to
totally
sleep.
do
No, I
agree with
love
that.
James
Like
Bond.
James Bond.
you know. So the imagery, fantastic. You know, the look, the set design, the costumes, incredible. You know, I didn't buy into the main character, and it was just a very slow, very boring storyline. Even the people got killed in a way that could, you know, kind of cause you to yawn. You know, I mean, it's just there was nothing threatening or intimidating about it.
Joe, here's my notes from the first episode, Sleep of Lust. My first 3 words: bored to tears, almost gave up.
Wow.
My the second episode, it's called Imperfect Host. Here's my notes: so boring, I did give up. And I actually quit, and then realized I had already put in an hour and a half. And I don't sleep, so I decided I'd give it another hour. So, and then I stuck with it, and I watched it till the end.
See,
Yeah. So yeah.
I think once you get past the first 3 episodes, it gets better. Like, I think my first episode I even liked was with John in it when they're in the diner. Like I thought that was pretty interesting.
You want to hear my notes on that one, Mark?
Yeah.
Episode 5, 24/7. Just one question: what the fuck?
yeah.
It was crazy. Which is nuts.
Episode 5.
Well, I think
for
they
a
were
little
trying
bit.
to layer in a lot of stuff that people who weren't familiar with Neil Gaiman's work would enjoy it. And that's kind of how I felt. To me, anytime that you're taking something as complex, and I mean, I'm sure someone's going to disagree, a series like The Sandman from a graphic novel and bring it to film, you're going to have a lot of stuff to unpack. And I feel like that was a lot of this first season was unpacking.
Wasn't the
One
Umbrella
of the
Academy graphic novel brought to TV?
Yeah, it
Yep.
was a
They managed it
Yeah, they
right from
crushed
the
it.
start.
They did a good job. my
I
opinion.
mean, I'm watching that right now, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
wow, this
So
is a brilliant storyline.
Steven's
Yeah.
a huge. He just said he's a huge Sandman fan. He's nuts for it.
Mhm.
What did you think, Steven, of the portrayal of John Davies, who was John D in this show?
I thought he was very comic book accurate. Actually, in the comics, he's actually a Justice League villain as well,
Super villain. Yeah.
Dr. Destiny,
Mhm.
and they did a great job with his origin story because that was it. I mean, the place he was being held wasn't Arkham Asylum,
Right.
but it was close enough that you
Yeah.
could see the resemblance.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I liked him as well. I thought he did. I thought, was it David Thewlis? Is that who it was? I thought he did a fantastic job. But I thought while he played the character well, I thought the character was kind of flat. I was looking towards Dr. Destiny as well, and I just
I
didn't
think that's
get it out of
part,
him.
like what I remember reading when reading the comics is the character was very flat and just very like out there, like quiet, not really
Yeah.
intimidating on the surface, but underneath.
Terrifying beneath. You're right.
Right.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I guess I came into this like I've read some of Sandman because I had to read it for school, but I didn't read like all of it. But I came into this, I didn't really expect like a antagonist or anything because I mean he is like the Lord of Dreams and he's a god. I don't really see that many
And that's
obstacles for him.
kind of what
Yeah.
I was expecting.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting a skinny kid in skinny jeans.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's exactly how he looks in the comic book. So, I mean, but
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
depiction from the graphic novel to the TV series is amazing. Like they had scenes that were straight from the graphic novels. I mean, even Preludes and Nocturnes.
Yeah,
that entire graphic novel was the first 5 episodes, and then House of Dolls was the next 5 episodes.
Like the first episode, I did find it kind of boring, but it was so like it felt shot by shot from the comic book. Like I remember when they captured him, and I remember thinking the same thing. Like I don't understand why they didn't just let him go night 1. Like they were afraid that he would kill them all, but I'm pretty sure he would kill you all if you kept him longer. So I just felt like they should have just been like, you know what? We were going after the wrong person. Let me just let you go. Granted, the person they were going after is his sister, which probably wasn't the best idea either. So.
It's definitely a slow build in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely is. Because
even the comic book was.
Yeah, in the comic book, it's
trapped
it's longer than 10 years, isn't it? Isn't it longer than 10 years they held him? They held him to the point that the guards forgot.
They held him for 100 years.
Yeah, they held him for 100 years. And I think they held him for 100. It was around 100 years in the series too.
Yeah, something like that. Because the kid, what was the kid's name? Alex. He went from being a young boy to an old man. Mm-hmm. And he lived longer than he should have because I guess he was closer to
Well, and I think the author was trying to build something there because I believe that most authors would have covered that 100 years in the first paragraph, maybe 2 paragraphs of the book. You know, he was in prison for 100 years, tortured here, blah, blah, blah. Get on with the story, you know. So maybe he was trying to create something there within me that I didn't pick up on because to me it was just.
I think it's important that it was there though, because he's an endless, and 100 years is still just a blink of the eye. Yeah, nothing. And so they needed to drive that point home, so that way when he emerged, you could see the change in his personality.
His revenge when he first emerges is pretty petty. You know, I mean, if you were immortal, do you think you'd be that way?
Well, he's not just immortal; he's an endless. He's a thought form, and they do have rules that they're supposed to follow. And one of those rules is supposed to be that they do not actually kill or interfere in mortal waking lives.
Yeah, because if I would have been released, that whole mansion would have been a pit in the ground. It would have been done.
I got the feeling that while Alex, the kid, he did kill the crow. I can't remember the first crow. The second crow was Raven was Matthew.
Yeah, I like Matthew.
I can't remember the first Raven's name, but he did kill it. I still got the feeling that Morpheus didn't hate him. He didn't. He just kind of saw him as a lesser life form. He was like, yeah, I can't. I think
it was more pity.
Yeah, exactly. He felt bad for the kid because of who his father was. His father was the true antagonist there. And I don't know. I think that's why he put him in that permanent sleep, was because I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to do this, which is in essence killing him. But he's still alive, just dreaming. So
even when I read some of the comic book, the one thing I wanted to always explore more, and I was hoping they'd explore it more in the show, was the actual kind of like absence of dream and how it really, like, I wanted to see. Because I know there's some people that didn't wake up. There were some people that were sleepwalking. There were some people that were never sleeping. But then the rest of the world was just kind of keep on going. So
no biggie.
Did it just skip some people? Or did we just adapt to a point where they don't need to sleep? Is everyone doing micro naps? What's going on? Like,
think of the apocalyptic implications.
Yeah.
What you just said.
I think that
no sleeping, that'd be great.
I interpreted it as there's some people who have no dreams.
Maybe.
So
that was part of it. The other part of it is that the dreams and the nightmares all actually went away from the dreaming, so they were out running loose, running wild.
So were they picking and choosing who goes to sleep?
Basically.
Okay. All right.
And you could easily say that before Sandman woke up, everybody had dreams every night. And now everybody has a while.
Okay. All right.
As far as it was basically like, I hate using this analogy, but it was like a pandemic sweeping through society.
Yeah, that's exactly how they described it. Yeah.
But it affects some.
Yeah. And I guess I just wanted to see how it affected the world a lot more, because that's a really big thing to like wake up one day and probably like, I don't know, 10% or 20% of the population is in a coma. Like, so it's just crazy. It's something that I really wanted to explore more. Freddy Krueger would have a field day in this universe. I swear.
That would be an awesome crossover.
So you kind of think it would have made a bigger social impact with having that many people?
Yeah.
I mean, that's worse than Thanos snapping.
Yeah, what happened to the wars during this? What happened to like I don't know, just like tons of things. And then and then there's that rumor that rich dude had the devil down in his basement. And so people knew he had something, and nobody went to go check. I mean, I guess you don't want to check if it's the devil, but I'm just saying.
He also had all that armed security.
True.
I mean, I can't imagine having that many people available to take care of that large population of people sleeping.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy.
I mean, how many died because of that?
Right, well, I got the impression that a lot of them were dead before they woke up. I mean, what is Rose's grandmother's name? Great grandmother? I can't remember her name, but she was like the oldest or the last living one, and that spoke a lot towards how many of them did die. You know, how many people did die while they were asleep.
That's crazy.
She was a young kid. She was 10 years old, and then she woke up and she was in her 80s. So it was.
I just gotta say, what the heck were people thinking when this little pregnant girl was asleep and she ended up pregnant?
Unfortunately, that happens.
Hold up,
Yeah.
what are y'all talking about?
So the reason she had. Go ahead, Steven.
That's in the last 5 episodes, or the episodes that come. I think we're only discussing the first 5.
Okay,
Is
so
that
I've
the
only
6th episode, baby?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I've only seen 1 to 5, so.
Okay.
But I think Neil Gaiman wanted to relate the sleeping sickness kind of to the polio disease.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And during the 1920s, I mean, that affected almost everybody's lives. It wasn't what we see as a huge social impact now, but back then. But life still
My
continues
problem
to go on.
could be that I'm jealous of all the sleep everybody's getting on the show.
Yeah. I know. Especially if you're one of those people that can't go to sleep. I'm not going to work and living my regular life if I can't go to sleep.
Yep, there we go.
I will become a supervillain. Like,
oh, I wish that were an option. A lot of motivation there, but I just can't get myself to be the supervillain, Sylvester.
My plans might not be orchestrated correctly because I'm delusional, but
to go to sleep, I drink coffee and pretend I'm at work.
Isn't that what half of us do anyway?
Let's talk about Ethel stealing the items from what was her?
Yeah, her
Burgess
husband, boyfriend.
Burgess.
Yeah, she.
Good for her.
I mean, yeah, good for her, but she took a pretty big gamble. Like, yeah, she took a big gamble. Like, she could have just took money and bounced, but she
grabbed
some very important stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and a sorcerer as powerful as that guy, I can't see how he didn't have her in 10 seconds. That was kind of a plot hole for me. I was like, wait a minute, this guy can summon death and screw up and get the dream, but he can't find this chick in 15 minutes? Come on.
I feel like the deals that she was making, like she traded something to a demon. She was on her own little dark magic stuff. So maybe she was finding a way to stay off the radar.
I mean, she had access to all his occult books and all that, so she had been learning, studying, taking notes from the master. And then when it was her time to grab his shit and go, she went all out.
I mean, didn't she have that amulet of protection?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she
I mean, that would have saved her anyway, right?
She didn't get that till later. She bartered the helmet to a demon for that.
Yeah.
That amulet. So
okay.
that's why they went to hell, is because that demon had
but she did have like the ruby and stuff too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Jonathan stole the ruby.
But
he took it from her, and then she could never get it back from him. And then he hid it on her because he killed everybody that tried to get it away from him. So,
I had no sympathy for anyone involved in this whole kidnapping situation. Like, you had the God of Dreams down in the basement. Somebody should have been like, "This isn't the best idea." Especially when the paper was like, "Yeah, like 80 million people didn't wake up." I would have been like, "Okay, we're gonna let him go." So.
Yeah. What about Paul when he takes the wheelchair and kind of messes up the runes? What did y'all
Paul's the MVP, but Paul still waited 100 years. But Paul did his thing.
Plus, it wasn't intentional, so kind of.
Was it? Because he looked back at it and then he looked at Dream. So I feel like that was intentional. I feel like he was like, "I'm gonna let you
in."
Subconsciously.
I got the impression that he did that on purpose, just to to free his partner from the hell that he was in.
Yeah. I kind of felt like he felt like his partner was dying.
Exactly.
And there's no need to do this anymore. And then, Dream gave him like the ultimate rope-a-dope and it was like, no, your partner's going to forever be in a coma.
What do you think, Jeff?
But he didn't do anything to Paul.
Actually, I like that interpretation of it, that they did it on purpose. That's actually pretty cool.
Paul didn't do anything to him. And if we think about what Paul did, Paul let him go. Yeah. So, and Paul sitting by his husband who's never going to wake up, that's a good enough punishment to him. Just sitting by your spouse who stuck in a, for all you know, he's stuck in a permanent nightmare.
Yeah. Do you think he was?
Probably. I'd stick his ass in a permanent nightmare for that shit.
Entering is how to do a bit.
I did not get that off of Morpheus. I didn't get that he was.
Oh,
I
no,
mean, he
not
had the
Morpheus.
potential to be sadistic, and he just never was. So I think he just was like, "Yep, you're gonna dream what you dream. I'll see you in the dream world." Bye-bye.
Morpheus is a better person than I am. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh, I would have stuck his ass in a nightmare too. Oh, give me 100 years? Yeah, that's 100 years a night for you.
The number they had me when he came down to Cain and Abel to go get the gargoyle.
Gregory.
Yeah, Gregory. I felt it. I agreed with Cain. He should have just took Abel. I was like, why are you taking Gregory? He didn't do nothing.
Gregory.
And
Yeah,
then
tough.
he was like, Gregory was like the first nightmare. I was like, what twisted mind thought this cute little thing was a nightmare? Like, it was
that almost
Gregory.
sealed it for me right there. I was like, no, because I knew from the comics that Gregory doesn't get sacrificed, and I was like, no, they're not going to do it. And then I was like, he starts disintegrating. Like, really?
That was brutal.
Yeah, it was. I just didn't see that coming. I mean, I guess they have to do that kind of thing to suck you in, but that almost booted me out. I was like,
that was crying, you're crying. I never really care about anything, but I was just like, that was so sad.
This was my first exposure to the author. As a matter of fact, right before I was asked to be on this panel, I had just bought a Neil Gaiman book so I could check out what the hype is all about. But I haven't listened to it yet, so we'll see. It's his first one about gods and stuff. Supposed to be very good, but we'll give that.
American Gods.
Yeah,
American Gods. I did want to read American Gods.
So they made a series out of that too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It was not that good. If you want to watch a good series, that Good Omens.
Oh, I heard Good Omens was real good.
Good Omens.
Who wrote that?
Awesome. Coraline is awesome. Mirror Mask is awesome.
So for me, it's still out there for this author. I don't know if he's worth the hype I've heard about. Howie wasn't. His book Bull was not as spectacular as they did. So you always get these people that they say, oh, this is the go-to guy, and I read them and I'm like, yeah. There are some out there though that they are.
I mean, to be fair, Neil Gaiman is one of the reasons I chose writing as a career.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a super fan in here.
Yeah. I wouldn't say a super fan. I'm still critical of his work, but after reading Sandman, I devoured the graphic novels and then started reading American Gods and all that at a time where I was just getting back into fiction, and it started to change my view on writing, and especially writing weird and stuff that wasn't stuff that was like horror, but not actually scary horror.
Hey.
Well, his work, to me, there's a handful of authors who I think have incredible words you can go and pull from their quotes. And Jim Butcher's one and Neil Gaiman's one. Charles DeLint's another. They have a beautiful way of taking words and making poetry and then putting it into a story. And that's one of the things that I admire so much about Gaiman, and I've always been drawn to his work. But that and the fact that he also tends to, just the characters in this, especially when you think that it was written, in the 80s or 90s, that you're dealing with a lot of, LGBTQ characters, that they're not looked at as being LGBTQ. They're just looking as being characters in your story.
Right.
And I love that. Because to me, I'm sorry.
He says very profound things.
Yes.
Okay. Yogi Berra did it better. Am I right, Rick?
I think I feel like when I was reading Sandman for school, my teacher told me that they won an award, and because of that they changed the stipulation for that award. I forgot what award was, but they changed it so a graphic novel couldn't win again after Sandman won the first time. So Sandman is definitely just a series that people look at, especially when you think about the comic book industry, because it really created, or it really allowed people to see graphic novels and comic books in a whole different light, because people would connect it to like children's stories and stuff, and then the graphic novel came with Sandman, and it just kind of allowed people to understand that there were real adult stories, there were real passionate things and good literature within these pages. So Sandman really did help a lot of people.
And the first issue was released in, I think it was 1988.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, it had a range that comic books didn't really have at that time.
Yeah,
there were a few like Frank Miller who were pushing boundaries, and Neil Gaiman and Sandman, that was the whole Vertigo label at DC.
Well,
We're
I
starting
might become a huge Neil Gaiman fan, and until then, we can still be friends, can't we, Steve?
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah. There's definite like graphic novels out there that are just like on par with a lot of literature, like Sandman. I think Frank's run with Daredevil was amazing. The Raven was just like, that thing is just drenched in like sorrow and stuff. So that thing is just, I love it.
I'm the odd one out, kind of. Then
Or the Crow.
I'd never heard of the Sandman, or I mean, other than like just the fairy tale style. I'm not a graphic novel guy, so you guys were talking Neil Diamond earlier. I'm like, I'm not a big Neil Diamond fan, except for maybe the Christmas album. So, but it's been interesting.
How about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Ah, yes.
Another graphic novel.
The original. Yes.
Bloody as hell.
They got their powers from the same accident that Daredevil got his powers from. Yeah.
I haven't really been into comics since Scooby-Doo was big,
He's still big. Scooby's still big. What are you talking
Still
about?
big? Archie's still big?
Oh, Archie just got a whole teenage
Netflix.
YA
TV
show called Riverdale.
So did Sabrina.
Yeah.
And they brought
Riverdale.
Yeah.
My best military fiction was like Sarge Fury and Sergeant Rock.
Oh yeah.
Those were comic books.
They haven't gotten
Turok.
They haven't gotten their reboot thing. I think they showed up a few times, or Turok. Well, yeah, they haven't come back really yet. Not Sergeant Fury. Well, did they change Sergeant Fury to Nick Fury?
Neil Gaiman, is he
Fury,
dead?
Sergeant Fury? Huh?
I don't know. Something happened to my speaker here. Hang on.
Oh.
So in the Dream a Little Dream of Me, that's episode 3. That's when Morpheus tracks down Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
What was your impression with that whole setup with what was the girlfriend's name that had gotten a hold of the dust? Or was that in the next episode?
Oh, his Constantine's girlfriend?
Yes.
It was really sad, like, because you're thinking that they just got back together and everything's amazing, and it's just the effects of the dust being in the area, and it was just a dream. And yeah, it was sad watching her, I guess, turn to dust. I'm not exactly sure what the dust does. Like we see I'm not sure what the helmet does either. But so I'm trying to figure out why.
I don't know what the helmet does. I think it's just like a crown.
Yeah. Well, I know,
and like helps him have contact with like the other Endless.
Yeah.
But the dust is like what he uses to create. It's like acrylic paint for artists.
I guess what I mean is, like, what does it do in the hands of a human that I would hold on to it till I died? What was it doing for me?
It was giving her the reality that she.
Oh, so it was giving her a perfect dream life.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's understandable. All right, there we go. Because I'm not gonna hold on to this dust just because it's like I'm not getting it. But if it was like, oh my god, yeah, this is an amazing world.
in her hands, it was basically like a drug.
Okay,
which is why she,
that was very Seven-ish. Do you guys remember the scene in Seven with the drug dealer in the bed? Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking when it was happening.
Yeah.
It's about to get dark.
Yeah.
And it did, but not in the direction I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
Okay, I've looked this up, and it says that the mask is to protect him from the sleep cast he uses to knock down criminals.
Oh no, that's the other Sandman.
Okay.
That's not the god. That's the Sandman from JSA.
Okay.
I thought the helmet was just like a key to hell. It was like how to get into hell, like in and out, back and forth.
Well, I think that was because it was a magical. It deemed him a god or one of the endless.
We clearly
it was like a
learned enough.
a god's version of a cell phone.
Your cell phone, and
allowed him to communicate, passport, all that.
I'm 5 episodes deep, and I still didn't get to see the family yet. I've been dying to see his relatives. I saw that Lady Gaga looking one at the end. I think that's one of them. Not sure, but yeah, I'm waiting to see his family. I want to hear the explanation for why nobody came to look for him.
Yeah.
It felt like everyone just like it feels like the Dream is always approaching people and trying to remind them how important hope and dream is, and everybody else in the world is like, nah, man, it's just what happened. It's the pretty pictures when you go to sleep. It's not that big of a deal. And he just I
think I spent most of episode 3 trying to figure out who the Raven was in real life. I finally had to Google it.
Who was it?
Damn it! I don't.
Oswald?
Patton Oswalt.
Oh, okay.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I love him, but I couldn't think of his name, of course, because
Tony is saying that the helmet is like his crown.
Yeah, it's a sigil. I just looked it up. It tells you who he is, pretty much.
Oh, okay. So that's why nobody seems to recognize him. Like they're just oh.
Well, and from episode 3, we go into Hell, which is the A Hope in Hell, which is episode 4.
I love that.
It was a really great episode. I would like to have seen more.
Yeah, I love that episode. I love the whole journey into hell. I loved Lucifer. I loved Lucifer's little just that little jab that was like, oh, you were trapped by humans for a while. Do you want to combine our realms? Like just shooting her shot just to see. Because if hell and the dreamscape combined, in theory, you could be in hell every time you go to sleep. So that would be just an amazing apocalypse in my head. That would
kind of suck.
Yeah.
So Joe, I know a lot of some of your stories kind of take a dark turn. What did you think about the Hell episode?
I enjoyed the scene. It was visually very stimulating, very good. I mean, they did a very good job with Hell. I liked the character of the person who played Satan and, all of that. It's just the overall storyline was by that time I was, I was drifting in and out. I'll be honest.
It's just a little slow pace for you.
Yeah, it's just nothing was stimulating it. It wasn't creating any interest for me. No, I'm someone who's read the Clan of the Cave Bears complete series several times. So if it's written well and interesting, I can follow it, whether there's excitement or not. But there was just nothing up to that point that piqued my interest,
Well, Stephen, as a fan of the work, what's your take on it?
I loved it. Again, it reminded me a lot of Constantine. There was a part where he was in hell and he saw his long lost love, basically, and that part where she saw him as another person. I loved that because one of the big things I remember about the graphic novels was that everybody actually saw Dream differently, and he would take a form that was either that of a dream or that of a nightmare as they were perceiving him.
That's good.
Well, Mike, what did you think?
I loved seeing who Constantine, right? Or Lucifer was, because I watched all of the Game of Thrones. Big shocker. But I don't know. I was like, this is going to be a kick-ass, badass, fucking bloody knuckles battle. And it's like, I'm a dream and I'm hope. I'm like, really? I'm like, come on. It's freaking Lucifer, for God's sakes. Like,
it made me think of The Sword in the Stone, the cartoon from Walt Disney. Do y'all remember when they had the sorcerer's battle?
Yeah.
I would have written the shit out of that scene and made it just violent and angry and have demons coming,
it was
pushing them back in.
Yeah.
So I don't have that. I don't have that love affair with it that people that know about it do. It's just.
It was definitely different. It was definitely a different. It wasn't what I was expecting when she was like, "I'm a dire wolf," and in my head, I was like, "If you go first, you're gonna lose this battle every time." Like, that's how I felt. But that was just me.
She's just been like, "I'm Jesus, and you're dead."
Yeah.
I'm with Mike on this one. My notes, almost word for word. Back in hell, Morpheus gets into an eldritch game of rock, paper, scissors with Lucifer and wins by becoming, wait for it,
Hope.
Yeah.
And then,
not surprisingly, Lucifer is pissed and vows revenge. And that's
what
how
does
I ended
this?
that.
Yeah. What does this say for Lucifer? Because I'm sitting there as a demon, like, well, you just lost the hope. Like, what the hell is this?
Lucifer,
the strongest of all the endless.
Lucifer is an endless, but still at the same time a fallen angel who still dreams of heaven, which is still the ultimate, most beautiful, and everything that Lucifer wants. And Dream saying hope, because Lucifer
I've often seen other movies and other shows give reference to the evil of Satan being to the fact that that God won't talk to him anymore, and it's just some petulant child striving for attention from which
I always like Supernatural's like depiction of Satan and how Satan's just kind of like in the cage, and Satan doesn't like any of the demons. Satan doesn't want to be in hell. It's just
that was pretty much the same hell in this too. Lucifer didn't really like any of the other demons.
But Lucifer here is still in charge of everything. Like Satan's in charge of everything in Supernatural, but it's kind of like, not really.
No spoilers.
The Sandman guy just kind of threw me off with like he was the same when he had his ass kicked, and he was the same when he was winning. Like there's no tonal difference. Like the fight scene in Little Nicky was probably more exciting to me than that in hell.
Have you guys seen the Lucifer TV series?
It's really good.
That is actually a loose adaptation of the Lucifer from the Sandman universe.
Which I would have preferred to see, to be honest, just because I like his smart ass.
It would have been really cool. I was actually slightly disappointed they didn't find a way to like have a cameo or something like that, given they're both on Netflix.
I felt like they just wanted to separate it all, because like that Lucifer already kind of like solidified itself in like dark comedy and everything, and I felt like that wasn't the tone that they were going for here.
Well,
and then the Constantine TV show, same thing.
It's a completely different hell, though. I mean, the Lucifer, like Steven said, it was loosely based. Same characters with Mazikeen and Lucifer and stuff, but it's the Lucifer or the hell in the TV show Lucifer was you relive the worst parts of you over and over for eternity. And this
that was still part of the Sandman's hell.
No,
when they were in the dead in the tower, they were basically reliving their
over and over again, right?
Yeah.
Well, so the question I have, and this is one of the important things I think as writers that we should recognize, is that the writer was very heavily involved in the making of this series.
I would
And so
hope
that's one of the things I think is very interesting when you hear that people don't like it.
Yeah.
Is, as writers, if the opportunity ever presents itself, how much do you want to be involved in the adaptation of your work to film?
I
A
mean,
lot.
oh,
A
really?
lot, but you never are.
A lot, and I want to score the movie too, or at least help. I do
They
with
always-
the music.
They always sign their film rights are always contracts that pretty much put the whole story in their hands to change
Yeah.
it to do whatever they want.
I mean,
Yeah, there's two ways to go about it, though. They either do that, and you can have say, but you get paid a lot less, or they just give you a bundle of money and say it's ours now. Those are the two ways to go.
Well, that was why it took so long for this to get made. Was originally, I think that Gaiman didn't have the rights, but he fought and got them back.
yeah.
I would be a take the money and run kind of guy.
Yeah, like as long as
there's
you don't
other
like,
books I can write, and pretty soon if you get enough of them going, like nobody's changing Stephen King stuff now, even though it's crap, because he's got enough out there that they got to trust what he is doing. But back to the Satan in the story here, though, Satan in truth is a prankster and a trickster. If you don't believe that, you look at the Book of Job, and I mean, God and him are both gambling men.
Yeah, but Satan, the whole battle in hell is only half this episode.
yeah.
The other half of the episode is John D. with Rosemary driving down the road.
That was
And
so
honestly,
intense.
I thought that was way better than the hell scene.
Rosemary is such a nice person, but that is exactly how you end up on ID. That's exactly how Ted Bundy gets you. Like,
a few months ago, I lost my Rottweiler Sadie, and watching that episode, I was in tears because my girlfriend's wallpaper on her phone is Sadie and looks just like the woman, the one she had in the car. Our dog looked just like that, and the whole time I was just like, please don't let anything happen to the dog. Please don't let anything happen to the dog, please.
Yeah, that's a tough gig.
Yeah.
And the relief I felt at the end of that episode.
Well, I felt like he was more frightening than Corinthians.
Oh, to do with
way
eyes.
more.
Yeah, I didn't care about the teeth for eyes, but yeah, I mean, I felt like this guy because he was unhinged. I mean, he was, unpredictable.
Yeah, he was quiet and like you said, unpredictable. You didn't know what he was going to happen, what he was going to do. If the dog was going to make a wrong move or the woman make a wrong move.
Like, how long had he been in there? In that facility, the Arkham-like facility?
Oh, I got maybe 10 years.
It seemed like he'd kind of been in and out.
Well,
I didn't know if it'd been a.
He had used the ruby to get what he wanted and to sort of project his ideals onto people, but people wanted to steal it from him, so he just ended up killing all of them. And then his mom comes in and she gives him the amulet that she had bartered the helmet away for, and I was like, oh, this guy's invincible now. What are you gonna do? Nobody can go against him.
But my question is, did he end up killing those people, or did those people that wanted the amulet from him end up dying like the people in the diner? Because
that was before he had. Oh, you mean?
I think it was more. I think it was like the diner with those people.
Like, I feel like he keeps on saying like, I'm a murderer, but are you really? Because you just kind of you just got this necklace that makes people go a little apeshit. So
But he made that security guard explode, didn't he?
Well, that's when he had his mama's necklace, though. That's the one where if
that
you
necklace
do something to him, it bounces back to you and you're just dead. So anyone that tries to do harm to the wearer of that necklace gets that harm done to them.
That necklace is brutal.
That's why Rosemary is fitting to be a superhero. Rosemary's about to like Superman this whole shit up. It's gonna be good. I'm waiting for Rosemary issue 1.
I love that he thought the ruby was far more than what it actually was.
It was still
I mean,
powerful.
it was doing a lot.
Yeah.
It just wasn't meant to do what he thought he could do with it. Right? And clearly he is definitely unhinged, because it's kind of like, I'm making the world better. As people die around you, you're just like, yeah.
No more lies. That's what he wanted. He hated lying, and it ended up backfire. Well, I guess it didn't backfire. It did exactly what he wanted to do, and just what those people did. And at the end of that time, they're like, yeah. The question I asked before. I mean, what?
Like, I was watching it and I was like, this feels like a filler episode. And then it started getting crazy, and I was
like, what wasn't the point that he just didn't want people to lie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or lie to themselves.
Yes.
And yeah, it took
the
a dark
society
turn.
wanted.
Yeah.
I guess lots and loads of personal freedoms like that sort of erode your soul and your inhibitions. And
it felt like he was trying to make his, like, it felt like he, in his head, he wanted a perfect world, but what he was really creating was this like hell on earth. And even when he was like dismantling the dreamscape, it was just, I was like, this is looking really like hell. We just saw this last episode. And so that dude, I didn't really like him too much. Like the whole mama's boy thing. He reminded me of I used to watch like the Justice League cartoon a lot, and there's this sorceress, and then she's got like her 10-year-old son who's annoying. That's who he reminds me of.
That's him. I'm pretty sure that's actually him.
Yeah, it is. I knew that whiny bastard from somewhere.
He was Dr. Destiny, a Justice League villain.
Whiny bastard.
After this was kind of his origin story. I mean, I know that they're separate, but
yeah.
Was episode 5 when Sandman got Dream got the ruby back from him, or am I on the wrong episode?
Yeah, it was
that was the end of episode 5, and then Lady Gaga showed up.
Episode 5 goes from bunnies and unicorns to a bloodbath.
Yeah,
and then after that is when he gets the ruby back, because John actually is able to go into the dream world because he's super powerful now, which is what Dr. Destiny can do. Yeah. And well, you saw what happened. I don't want to wreck it.
It's putting me to sleep just talking about this.
I was just gonna say, when he was messing with John and like had him in the palm of his hand, I was like, there's another scene where he could have been a vicious badass, and he wasn't. Like, be scary. It's okay.
He just
make nightmares for God's sakes. You can't.
Well, yeah.
I thought it was actually really cool that he didn't punish John.
Once again, I probably would have.
Oh, I would have. Yeah. Another 100 years.
I think we're clear on that, Sylvester.
Well, I think this is a definite difference in whatever world he's created and the horror world that we all kind of flounder around in.
I feel like we write different horror, like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, but I don't kill Gregory. I write horror all the time.
You killed a dog, Rich.
Yeah,
I
did not kill a dog. It was a reference to a dead
dog. I've killed dogs.
Like, that was a dream episode.
No, the dog died.
I killed dogs. I've killed
dogs.
Gone to Dog is all about killing dogs.
Everybody's got to get it. Like,
everybody. Yeah. Nobody's safe.
Yeah.
No,
I got more shit for the kids than a 7-year-old kid. Or for a dog than a 7-year-old kid.
They're outside your front door with a pitchfork.
Like, people email me, they'll be like, "Don't you kill a dog?" I was like, "I shot like a 10-year-old in the head. What happened?"
I killed the protagonist in like the very first part of one of the 5 Roads to Texas books.
Yeah.
And every review on there is like, "Well, I didn't want to see that happen." It's like, "Oh yeah, great. Thanks for the spoiler."
Yeah.
They also gave me shitty reviews for that book too. It's like people, it really pissed people off. And being me, it makes me want to do it again.
Yeah.
You got it, Mona.
You know what I thought? Because they just like leaked like the first like I think 5 minutes of Tales of the Walking Dead, and they killed a dog. So that was the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, this fan base does not like that. So, and I felt like that directly came from the fact that everyone kept telling them they couldn't kill Daryl's dog, and I feel like somebody was like, you know what, I'm gonna kill a dog in this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much stuff that's off that can't be killed in the books. Fuck it, might as well kill them.
Yeah,
They gotta go. They gotta go.
No one's safe,
story.
so
It's just a story, you know.
Yeah, everybody's got.
I'm not trying to impart any big social message or anything like that. All I want to do is entertain people.
Yeah.
And if I gotta kill a dog to do that, God damn it.
No dogs. No dogs.
Oh.
I don't think I've killed a cat, but that's because I don't put cats in my books because I don't like cats. So
yeah, cats
very much.
You gotta watch out for those cats. Y'all saw that documentary.
Yeah, don't F with cats.
Oh,
that was good.
My wife was attacked by a feral cat 2 years ago, and it infected him behind some cartilage in her wrist. So we needed an orthopedic surgeon to go in and get the infection out.
Cat bites are like worse than snake bites.
$40,000 at the hospital is what it cost.
Oh, I would have done that.
Believe that.
I had to go out here in town and shoot the thing in order to send it to the university to make sure it wasn't rabid. And if you ever have to do that, remember, do not shoot it in the head. That's what they have to dissect in order to find out if it's rabid or not.
I was like, did it not die? What happened?
I had to cripple it to get close enough to kill it, give it a kill shot, but
man,
it was a vicious cat.
That is crazy.
So no, I'm not a big fan of cats, especially feral cats.
You're gonna hate the bonus episode. Oh my god!
I would have never killed Gregory. Gregory was cute. You saw him chasing that ball.
I wasn't gonna say anything, Steven, but yeah. I got 15 minutes into that, and I was like, "Nope, I'm done," because of what happened.
What are you talking about now?
The bonus episode.
There's a bonus episode.
Yeah, it's an animated episode. And it's about cats.
Dream of 1,000 cats.
Yeah. Had lots of sad in it.
Oh,
I knew that lady. She lived in my neighborhood. We had a college professor at the university in the next town over, and she had so many cats, she moved out of her farmhouse and lived in her car. This was after she retired, and she had a lot of money, but she just gave her farmhouse up to the cats. And then when she died in her car, because she didn't want to talk to anybody, nothing. So people just let her live in her car. And when she died in her car, there were 7 cats living in there with her. And it's just like,
did they eat her?
I feel like I've just seen my future.
It's like an addiction or
they
something.
eat you.
It's like an addiction.
That's insane. I have goldfish.
Insane.
They're interchangeable. Like, no. I just gave them names. I've had them for like 2 years. I was like, maybe I should name you.
Not a dog guy, Sylvester.
I had a dog when I was a kid, but I mean, like, nah, not really. Like, in my head, pets are just kind of work, and I already do too much as it is. So,
Jill and I always keep 2 dogs.
Oh, sure. Yeah. What about you?
Dog guy.
The most I had was 5 dogs. When my ex left, he was a dog handler in the military, so we had 4 German Shepherds and my pit mix, and that was a lot of work. And I never want to have 5 dogs again. And I love them, and I want everyone to take one home and make sure that it's taken care of. But man, 5 was too many. 5 big dogs was like having ponies.
Yeah, how about you, Rich? You got a little Boston Terrier over there?
He's got cats.
No, I have a cat. I have a cat named Meatball, and I got 2 dogs. I got Freya and Smudge, and They're German short-haired pointers, basically. So.
Oh, do you hunt?
No, they're just pets.
He's
I'm
like,
a huge, I'm a huge gun guy, but I don't hunt.
utilize them that way. No.
Nope,
We
they're
hunt
just pets.
watermelons.
Oh, I've killed many a watermelon. Yeah.
So
Beer cans,
part of
targets.
that TikTok
it's a
trend
good-
when they're ripping them open with your hands now.
Is
It's a
that,
good
is
hunt.
that one?
Good hunting breed when you live out in the areas where
Oh, yeah.
Mike and I live. You know, you get a lot of people and the wire hairs and the short hairs and the labs and they're used.
Spaniels.
Yep,
Yeah, they're
used
working
for
dogs.
hunting,
Yeah, no, I get it.
You know, and
So the
it's
litter
pretty
that
cool. Pretty cool to watch them in action. You know, here's this dopey dog that you think nothing of, and all of a sudden you pull your gun out, and they're on point, man. They are just ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
the litter I got her from, there were 11, I think, and a few of those are hunting dogs now.
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
I've been thinking about taking my goldfish hunting.
Yeah, no.
And do it.
I'm actually more into watching the videos they have online of the herd dogs. Now, if you ever watch any good border collies and what they do with herds of sheep, that's pretty phenomenal.
Well, my dog Smudge, he's half pointer and half Australian cattle dog, so he's both. I get both out of him.
My Texas healer that's part Australian cattle dog, part Australian shepherd. He herds all of us here. He's so into herding us. I can see him doing cows very easily.
My black Maggie herds.
My German Shepherd does the same thing
here.
here.
What kind of dog is Maggie?
What's that?
What kind of dog is Maggie?
She's kind of she's a mutt. She's got like a shepherd or what is it? She's got bully breed in her, but she also has like a herding breed in her. She's stupid smart.
Yeah.
But like you see her playing with the other dogs, like she's the fastest one, and then to make it worse, like she's nipping at their ankles to make them go where she wants them to go. Like, and she can't. No one can outrun her. And then, like when she's on her own and wants to go play, she's the only dog in the neighborhood that can jump the 4.5, 5 foot fence effortlessly. And she goes over and she'll jump 2 houses over to go play with the other dogs.
We have digressed, people.
Sorry,
oh yeah,
we covered all 5 episodes.
This has nothing.
Did we cover episode 5?
How entertaining the show is.
We're talking about dogs, Ashley. What's your problem?
Okay. Well, hey, I can get back to dogs.
Actually, I got to call it myself. I'm getting
calling it.
Well, I'm no.
It's been an hour, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. If everyone will let me know where we can find you online, what books you've got coming out, what you got going on, and just where we can find you and learn more.
Joe?
Starting with you, Joe Hansen.
Danny's Dance Emporium down on 5th and 7th. No, you can find me on Facebook, of course, Joseph Hansen, and Amazon, Joseph Hansen. I am on Instagram, but I don't know how to work it, so it's kind of a waste of time finding me on there. Otherwise, I'm just kind of hanging out with Adley and Rich. So
yeah, you can find all of Joe's Lowballing with Joe on our Weird Realities website, and there's a tab for Lowballing with Joe Hansen.
You're so good at this, you should never even ask me to do it.
Mike, what's going on with you? I know you've got some new releases and some specials going on.
Yeah, I actually just had put out a box set for the Uninvited 4-book serial killer series. It's one of my favorite series. Get brownie points if you listen and read it because it's dark. I just did a 3-book Vacation from Hell box series as well. Same with the audio, and I'm doing the audio on the Uninvited as well. I think next week or the week after, I've got Against the Ropes. It's the 4th and possibly final book in the Charlie Ford series. I've been putting out like basically one a month all summer. And then what else? Orphans 11 is coming out. Well, I don't know when, but I'm writing it. I'm over halfway done. And you can find me on Facebook or where else? Amazon. Just look up Mike Evans. Type in zombies. It'll pull up pretty quick. Or I think it's MikeEvansAuthor.com. You can also find me there. But Yeah.
Sylvester?
All right. So you guys can find me everywhere at Sylvester Barzy. That's my handle for Instagram and everything. Just working on the Planet Dead series, working on a pirate, what is it? A pirate zombie series for Darklit Press. And you guys can follow me on TikTok. So, here's the little taggy thing. There you go. Go tag yourselves. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, because I need 1,000 followers so I could put a link in and maybe go live.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am not that technologically advanced, but if you look at my name right there, you can just Google that. You can find me on Amazon. You can find me. You can come to my my Facebook page, and I am also a member of Horror Writers Inc. You can find me there. I know all these guys are Horror Writers Inc. guys. Yeah, that's about it.
Steven, what about you?
Same for me. You can find me on Amazon just by searching my name. I'm also a member of Horror Writers Inc. I'm also on Twitter, Astral Strikes, and pretty simple Google search will lead you to me.
And him and Rich are ripping open watermelons on TikTok, so you guys better go find them there.
Not in Facebook, Joe.
And I'll say this, weirdrealities.net, that's weird with a Y. We have actually got a Horror Writers Inc. partnership page. So y'all be sure to go there. There are links to all these guys' books and one to the Horror Writers Inc. Facebook community. So be sure to go and like, subscribe, and support these great indie authors doing all the hard stuff that they're doing. And we will see you next week for part 2 when we cover episodes 6 through 11. Until then,
and the bonus episode, Dream of 1,000 Cats.
Joe Hansen will not be taking part in that. All right, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
See you later.
Thanks,
Take
everybody.
care.